Stress is a killer. Is yours out of control? The power of stress to disempower. Stress is arguably one of the most silent killers on the planet, largely because people don't realize something is going wrong, or they refuse to act on it. Stress awareness is not easily understood as each person tolerates pressure in their own personal ways. Most people are also more familiar with using cause and effect reasoning that they can easily see. For example, it would be common to think of being at the effect of a boss who is demanding to be the root cause. Actually, the boss is simply the trigger that is activating old bad feelings from a former time you felt that same ways when you were a helpless child and could not escape those feelings, so they got stuffed down into your mind as a memory. So many people end up feeling helpless or like the victim due to external pressures and the stories made up around these scenarios. The truth is that there are root causes that are found inside each of us that are causing so much distress in the world. We are all raised in captivity of some sort. Each child is at the mercy of the outer world. This program helps the child survive as they can use the mechanisms of fight, flight or freeze to repress feeling and not deal with them as they may be too stressful or painful for a small child, so they are saved in a file much like we do with a movie or video we wanted to view later. The problem is that there is never a way to view what we forgot or is too painful to watch, so it remains in raw form. The energy from the repression still remains in lockdown within the child along with the feelings and the memory codes, so they can be addressed when the adult of the child is ready to face them. The number issue is that few people ever find a path or the way to deal with the pathos lodged deep within their mind and body that is causing all the inner conflict for their mental and emotional well-being. Our treatment model now is heavily laden with physical treatment plans to be the cause of our illnesses. This is what we have been told, even though we have lots of mental problems that have not been fully treated. Our focus continues to be on physical health separated off from mental and emotional treatment plans that work. Mental health treatment has long had a stigma attached to it and has been treated separately from physical and spiritual as though they were divided from each other. We need to begin to notice how intricately all of our systems must work in harmony for the best integrated human being treatment plans. Stress cannot be overcome under the influence of a disempowered soul that depends solely on allopathic medical procedures for its wellness. The killing fields of the stress we inhale daily may be the very thing that will wake us up to believe there is more we need to do for healing. But why does stress contribute to so many aspects of ill health, ultimately leading to death? It is because often it is untraceable. You may not realize you are suffering from stress overload. Certainly, given all the things happening with the world pandemic, most people are suffering from stress overload. Our atmosphere is full of the anxious energies associated with fear and negative frequencies. It is impossible to tune out the underlying impressions that are constantly circulating. Interested to know if your stress is rapidly becoming out of control? Look for the following telltale signs: unexplained aches and pain about the body. A little pain here and there is normal, and should be nothing to get worried over, but it can spell a worrying trend when it occurs too often. And this is the case with being overly stressed all the time. Worry and stress are actually words that can mean the same thing. Muscular pains most commonly occur around the back, neck or shoulder areas, and may be attributed to poor sleep patterns, although it is not always the case. Medication to treat the pain may only yield temporary relief, and should not be relied upon as a long-term solution. Yet, many people are living dependent upon them. One thing associated with high stress levels is the negative effect on immunity. This gives rise to frequent colds and infections. Cortisol suppresses the immune system and leaves the body wide open to infection. This is especially troublesome during flu season, and necessitates that extra precautions be taken, such as increasing antioxidant food consumption, and vitamins such as D. Insomnia is usually one of the first signs to appear when you are overstressed, as cortisol does not work by itself. In fact, it recruits the neurochemicals adrenaline and noradrenaline, which enhance awareness and energy levels. Could this be part of the all-time high stress levels from worrying over all the things we continually fill our minds with? Many people think if you don't worry, you don't care. Spending the day worrying will lead to spending the night worrying. This is an important function in the mornings when you need that get up and go boost, but not at night when you should be unwinding. Use of heavy stimulant-based supplements, such as with caffeine, too late at night will cause this to occur. High blood pressure involves multiple pathways all experiencing dysfunction for its development, with cortisol happy to oblige. High blood pressure in this case is precipitated by increases retention of water, which increases blood volume, faster heart rate, and blood vessel constriction. All these factors increase blood pressure, so care needs to be taken to manage cortisol and stress levels. Both men and women require a normal level of testosterone to modulate sex drive, but this important hormone is suppressed when levels of the stress hormone cortisol are high. Cortisol and testosterone share a negatively inverse relationship, meaning that as one goes up, the other goes down. If this loss of sex drive occurs in a young person, who previously displayed normal behavior, it can be a clear indicator that individual is overstressed. Of course, it is not just young that are losing that drive. There are many who report being too tired or disinterested in the enjoyment of sex. Of course, this hurts relationships and leads to other issues involving casual sex or pornography. Frequent outbursts or mood swings and depression or feelings of inadequacy that we have labeled in so many ways as mental illness with very little recognition of the impact of trauma or PTSD stress can seriously affect your emotional well-being, especially since it can tear apart relationships with loved ones. You are likely to be irritable, picking fights, or feel pressured to perform. This can amount to depression, anxiety or feelings of disappointment. Depression is sometimes difficult to diagnose, especially in individuals who do not possess a strong support system. It can be hard to maintain a level head when stress levels are high, causing you to lash out to anyone who seemingly irritates you. We tend to think that this is not normal behavior, especially if the individual was previously very level-headed. We might need to take a different perspective and wonder what is going on underneath that reaction. In other words, what story is that person telling himself? In my opinion, we need to take a deeper inspection of all the stories we make up about behavior and the roots of stressful things on us. It could be that the triggers from stress are just the tip of the iceberg. Perhaps we need to do more than keep rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. Getting more and better physical health treatments is good, but if they are done separately from an integrated mental and emotional well-being, there will be more and more sickness. We can no longer function as though we are just machines with faulty compartments to take out and fix. In conclusion, if you find yourself experiencing one or more of the symptoms above with increasing frequency, it is time to take a step back from the burden you have placed on your shoulder. Hopefully, you will begin to notice how your mental health impacts your physical health, and that can change your mood or emotional wellness. Our spirit is set to function harmoniously with our mind and body. When they are not in sync, neither are we, no matter how many stories we make up to deny this. Many people are suffering from painful energy and old stories trapped in their bodies. There is a way to get help to relieve that stress and create space within to find stability to express from our true self and not immature old programs from the past. Living present and mindful within a lovingly centered self is key to enjoying life and feeling spiritually empowered to realize all the dreams and hopes we are here on earth to experience. Relieve some of the stress and get up to date with present feelings that connect to the source of the highest mind, which is also the source of your inner truth and all that you need to know wellness. Do the work of clearing out the mads and sads that are making you feel bad by journaling, meditation, and connecting to your true self. We can increase our longevity and joy factors by offloading all that is within that continues to stress and trigger us to blame others for what is deposited right inside our own minds and hearts. Get in touch with your inner power and ask for help. Get connected within.